Welcome to Meet the Candidates. The Frankfort Plant Board has been gracious enough to give us an opportunity to bring the candidates in here to the studio so we can find out a little bit more about who they are and what office they're running for, why they're running for that office. It gives us a chance to know a little bit more about what to do with our vote on Election Day. Now, I would like to remind you to stay alert to the fact that we're going to be having a candidate forum on April 26th. We expect it to be down at the hotel, so stay tuned for that. And see if you can make your plans so you can participate in that and submit your questions if you have any. And then be sure and write down the timing so that you can tune in live when we bring you the results of the May primary on the 22nd of May. And we'll bring you those numbers from the county clerk's office just as soon as they're available. And we'll be anxious to hear the results of these interviews. So right now on Meet the Candidates, we're going to be talking with Tom Gatewood, who is running as PVA. Now, PVA, of course, as I had to be prompted during one of the interviews, is the
Property Valuation Administrator.
Yes, ma'am. And that in itself is a little different from a lot of these other offices that we're doing. So I would like to just ask you to let our viewers know who you are, how you function within the community, and why you're willing to take on the responsibilities of this position.
Yes, ma'am. Well, my name is Tom Gatewood. I am from Frankfort, born and raised. I've lived here 67 years with only a few weeks of time of leaving the county. Other than that, I went to Good Shepherd Grade School, was a member of Good Shepherd Church. I went to Franklin County High School 4 years, and then I went to Kentucky State University, graduated with an undergraduate degree in political science, and then I went ahead and got a master's degree in government finance from part of the political science degree at Kentucky State.
So you have the qualifications needed to serve in this function. Tell our viewers a little bit about what that is. As I said, it's a little different from a lot of the offices that we're familiar with. What precisely would be the qualification to be PVA?
Well, Janet, what the qualifications are, it's mainly an office that is responsible for the appraisal, setting the value of real property, and we also have a tax on what they call a Mo tax, which covers cars, trucks, boats, and we're responsible for those. Now, the Mo tax is pretty much set by the NADA values, which Revenue has installed in our computers, and we're online with the downstairs with the clerk's office. The technical part of the job is your background in real estate. You just about would need a background real estate and appraising to do the job.
So what skills do you bring that would qualify you to be interested more than anything in doing those duties?
My wife and I have been in the real estate business in Frankfort, Gatewood Realty, for well, since 1973 is when I started, and she is continually in that business. I'm not in the business anymore, of course, because being the PVA, it would be a conflict, so I'm not in the business. Also, I have a long background in appraising. I started doing appraising in 1985, and the government started, the state started licensing appraisers in 1991. And I tell people my state number is 5, which is now been retired, and they're up in the 5,000 area now, I think, license numbers. So you can see I've been around in that business pretty good experience. So, and being a lifelong person in real estate and appraising, in the county, knowing all of the county roads and all of the property, as well as the owners, the property owners, it really makes a big difference in doing the job.
Do you see any particular issues that need to be addressed in this situation? Any changes you would like to implement? Any improvements?
We have been working on improvements in the office. The lady that had the job prior to me getting appointed to fill her position, fill her term, a lot of the files had been let go and stuff, and we have gone in. I have an excellent staff, and we have gone in and brought all of that up to date. It's about all online now, where people can either go on the website, different people, and if you're a realtor, a member of LBAR, it's free to you. Other people, lawyers, insurance, and people pay a subscription fee for that, and that goes back into our funding. We use that as part of our office funding.
Now, what does a private citizen do if they want information about property values in particular instances? Is there an access for them?
Yes, you can go online, you can go on our website, and you can pull certain information. Now, to get the same amount of information that a realtor would get would require you to either call us and have us send you a copy of the card, the information in the computer, which another thing, we started to take PayPal now. So if you have PayPal, it's I think it's $2 or $3, depending on what you want, and we can send that to you either by mail or email, or you can walk in our office. We're Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, and like I say, I have an excellent staff. They're very responsible. They know their job. They know pretty much how to do it, everything that's required if you walk in the door.
Now, one of the things that comes up repeatedly, not just for this office, but in all of them, because it's tax-based, do you anticipate there being any areas of concern with budget? I know we're always hearing about the state cutting budgets. Do you see any big impediments coming to your continued function in running the office as it is now?
We have had meetings with the Department of Revenue, yes, about our budgets. And they have told us, of course, all that depends on the legislature. My job is set by statute, and all of our regulations are set by statute. And so a lot of people don't know that. They think, well, since you're elected to PVA, that you can, do certain things to either help them or hurt them. But you have to be able to justify everything according to the statute. And but to answer your question, Janet, from what I have seen, until the legislature is finished and the governor has signed the bills about the budget, we won't really know for sure what that amount will be.
Do you see any steps that you might need to take to protect that area, or changes in assessments, that sort of thing that would have to be accomplished to maintain the level of service that you're providing?
No, ma'am. Our assessments, that wouldn't play any part on the budget. Like I say, we do things. We assess the property. We have certain ways that we do that, and we don't really pay any attention to what the state budget is when we do those assessments. It's, everybody's has done the same to be fair and honest and trustworthy and to keep everybody fair. There's rumors in Frankfurt about budget cuts, and like I say, we have had meetings. All of the PVAs have sat down and had meetings with the revenue that have discussed them, but until they get something firm and concrete as to what that percent cutback is going to be, we don't really know for sure yet. To answer your question a little farther, we have done everything we can do since I have been there to manage the office in a way that is responsible financially. That being, we don't waste money. We do things in preparation because PVAs, if we get cut, let's say 17%, the only place we could come up with that would be to go to our employment, to our people, and make a cut. And I don't want to have to do that if I can at all help doing that.
So you've been there a while.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you made changes that you think are sufficient, and do you plan new changes in that office, or do you think you have it at a level that's comfortable at the moment?
One of the big changes that I made back several months ago was the realtors would call me when they first knew that I had been appointed, and they said they were real concerned because most of the surrounding counties had access to all of the data. So I made a change, and that was in the paper. You maybe saw that in the State Journal, and that helps people in Franklin County sell their property, because if there's an agent in a surrounding county that needs that information, a certain amount of it is on LBAR, on your listing, and they can see pictures of your house. But when you get into more details, square footage, and you're checking other information, it's very important for them to be able to pull that up on the website and maybe print it out and use it. That was one of the major first changes I made. I'm also doing research right now with some of my staff. We've got another idea that we're going to do this year, Lexington is doing, about the way the housing market, statistical graphs, so that people in Franklin County will know what their property values are doing. You know, for years and years, when I was in the real estate business, from the 70s on up till 2007, everybody's property values seemed to increase every year, you know. Well, now they're starting to come back, but we went through a very hard time in real estate for several years, and some of the property values in some of the areas dropped significantly, but there again, it changed from area to area. So the person that's in this job that I'm in, it's vital for them to understand Franklin County and the real estate market, and to know properties and farms and the soil conditions and what affects our market, because the Franklin County market is completely different from the Woodford County market and the Scott County market and the Fayette County market and the Anderson and Owen County market. So that's an important part of the job.
Are there issues that, through my ignorance, I have neglected to bring up for your consideration? Is there anything you'd like to tell our viewers?
Well, I think you've done a real good job on your overview, Janet. I really do. And I think that what the viewers should understand, or what I can tell them, is the importance of having someone in the job that knows property values and is familiar. But also, everything has changed in state government in the last 10 or 15 years. Now, I had a career in state government, so I'm familiar with budgets. I helped prepare budgets. In transportation, when I was there, we had the largest budget in the state, because it included all the road construction and engineering, and we had 10,000 employees. So you need to have a background too in preparing budgets, because I have to do a budget projection for the Department of Revenue, and I have to live by that budget. And at the end, last year, we had an overage for my 6 months that we were in there. We saved about $27,000, and which was I think a real good deal. And it saves the taxpayers money, and I'm for that too. I've
really enjoyed this opportunity to meet with you and talk to you about some of the responsibilities in the PVA's office, but I want you to look in that camera.
Okay.
And tell those viewers why you are the best candidate and why they should cast that ballot for you.
Okay. Well, I think that the reason that the voters should choose me to keep me in the office, because we have a saying when we started our campaign this month that the best person for the job is in the job, currently in the job. And that is because of experience. When I was appointed to the position by the governor, he told me that he looked at all 16 the people that applied for the job. He required them to fill out resumes if they were interested in the job. And when he called 3 of us in and interviewed us, and he told me, he said, "Tom, you appear to have the best resume." And he said, "I don't feel this is a political job. I feel this is a job for the Franklin County citizens, and the taxpayers should get their money's worth through experience." And so we talked about that, and I said, "Well, Governor, I'm not a Republican, I'm a Democrat." And he said, "Well, this isn't a political choice for me, Tom." He said, "It's experience." So he said, "If you want the job, I'm going to choose you of the 3, of the finalists." And that made me feel real good to do that. So that's why I think everything's going smooth. We don't have any problems in the office. I have an excellent staff that I'm really proud of, and I would like to stay as your Franklin County PVA.
Well, we really appreciate you coming in today and giving us an opportunity to learn a little bit more about you. As you pointed out, you have a long history here, so a great many people already know you. But we have new people coming into the community all the time, and this gives them an opportunity to get to know you and to see where you stand on some of these issues. So we thank you for your participation in this. And I want to take one more opportunity to tell our viewers to stay alert for the news about the Candidates Forum, April 26th, down at the hotel, and join us for our live coverage of the election returns on May 22nd. We'll bring you the vote just as soon as we have the information available. We hope to be coming to you from the county clerk's office. And then by all means, make sure to come back here to meet the candidates.